Euro 2020 was a tournament that was a memorable one to say the least. As the world was slowly creeping back into normalcy in the aftermath of the pandemic, it was the people's favorite team, Italia, that brought home the trophy to Rome, along with the hearts of millions of people all over the world, making us fall back in love with the sport. The nation of Italy has come a long way, from failing to go past the group stages of the 2010 World Cup to failing to qualify for the World Cup itself in 2018, dropping to 21st in the FIFA World Rankings, their lowest position till date. And then, on the 14th of May 2018, the FIGC, Italian football's governing body, appointed Roberto Mancini. This move set the wheels in motion for one of the greatest triumphs in Italian football history. But just how did Mancini manage to stop football from going home and making it come to Rome? Let's find out. What is up, guys, and welcome back to another video. You're watching Tifosi Culture TV and I'm Hotshot, and today we are going to be talking about how Italy won the Euro 2020. If you like this video, please make sure to smash that like button and comment down below your thoughts on the Italian football team and what are their chances of winning the World Cup next year in Qatar. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. The groundwork that led to Italy's dominance was laid down all the way in 2010. Maurizio Viscidi, the FIGC's technical coordinator, is one of the key figures in Italy's rebuild. Viscidi took over the work of his mentor Arrigo Sacchi in 2010, who was appointed by the FIGC to oversee changes that would bring through new talent through the youth system and to improve them. Sacchi was adamant after Italy's exit in the group stages of the 2010 World Cup that there should be more investment in youth football, to depend less on the old veterans in order for Italy to flourish on the international stage. Viscidi was a disciple of Sacchi, the prophet of Fusignano, and followed his principles of developing intelligent footballers being able to solve problems themselves on the pitch. But he is also an innovator and wanted youth teams in Italy to play an attacking brand of football, focusing on the four principles that are carp, costruzione or build-up, ampiezza or width, rifinitura or approach play between the lines, and in the final third, profondità, the space in behind, which meant that each team had to be able to build up from the back, be able to stretch play by occupying the wide spaces, occupy the space between the lines, and exploit the space in behind in order to play an attacking brand of football. And the results started to show. In 2013, the under-17s reached the European Championship final, as did the under-21s. The under-17s also achieved back-to-back finals in 2018 and 2019, and the under-19s reached the European finals in 2016 and 2018. The road was not always smooth as it was made out to be. FIGC changed management numerous times, and there was always a threat of uprooting and completely wiping out all the hard work done by Sacchi and Viscidi. But the tree was starting to bear fruit, and the people in charge during their respective tenures realized that. Viscidi said, "The governance changed 4 times, but Club Italia never did, and this continuity is the key to our improvement." As luck would have it, from 2016 to 2020, we won 4 silver medals. We were twice finalists at the under-19 Euros and finalists in back-to-back under-17 Euros. We finished 3rd in the under-20 World Cup, which we hadn't qualified for in 8 years, and then another semi-final again. Our ranking went from 17th to 4th. In the aftermath of the debacle of 2018, when Italy failed to qualify for the 2018 World Cup after losing to Sweden 1-0 on aggregate in the European playoff, the Italian Olympic Committee were left to pick up the pieces of a squad shattered by the embarrassment of missing out on the World Cup for the first time in 16 years. Gianpiero Ventura was sacked after losing the dressing room following the retirements of Buffon, De Rossi, and Bonucci. The FIGC president Carlo Tavecchio, who was the person responsible for hiring Ventura, resigned as well. The Olympic Committee Secretary General Roberto Fabricini was appointed as an emergency leader, and he appointed Angelo Clarizia and Alessandro Costacurta as the vice commissioners. Costacurta had to rewatch that dreaded game. He enlisted the help of Roberto Mancini, who was staying in the same hotel as Costacurta when he was in Rome with his former club Zenit, to get his opinion on the game. Costacurta realized the defensive approach Italy used, with Belotti and Immobile practically camped in their own half. Costacurta wanted a more attacking brand of football, aligning with the work Viscidi was doing in the youth setup. Mancini simply replied with, "Then you've come to the right man." Mancini took charge on May 2018, and apart from a loss against Portugal, Italy have not lost since then, going on a 27-game unbeaten run. They won all 10 of their Euro 2020 qualifier matches, the first time they had posted a perfect record in qualifying for any major competition, scoring 37 goals and conceding 4. They finished top of their 2020-21 Nations League group, ahead of the Netherlands, and have collected maximum points from their 3 World Cup qualifiers. During this time, he has handed debuts to over 35 players since he has taken charge of the national team. He has even handed debuts to Zaniolo and Tonali, both at the time had yet to play a single game in the Serie A, showing the world that going forward, his new Italy will be vibrant, attacking, and most importantly, exuding youthfulness. So let's talk about the tactics Mancini used in the Euros. Mancini typically used a 4-3-3 formation with very little rotation. Manuel Locatelli started for the first 2 games in place of the injured Marco Verratti, while Acerbi filled in the huge shoes of Chiellini when he was out injured for the game against Wales. Berardi started in the first 3 games on the right-hand side of the forward 3, but Chiesa won back that starting spot after some incredible performances from the bench. And unfortunately, Spinazzola was ruled out of the remaining 3 games due to an Achilles injury. Emerson Palmieri, the Chelsea left-back, stepped in for him. So let's look at what tactics Italy used during build-up and in possession. Italy typically looked to build up short. When building out from the back, the 2 centre-backs would split wide and the full-backs would push up high and wide. Bonucci and Chiellini or Acerbi are comfortable in circulating the ball amongst themselves and would often look to draw the opposition onto them, forcing the defensive line higher and allowing their forwards to make runs in behind onto a long pass. The 2 midfielders, Jorginho and Locatelli or Verratti, would often look to drop deep, thereby creating extra passing options for the centre-backs and goalkeeper. This also draws a marker away from the centre-backs so that they are free to pick out a pass, or it draws the opposition midfielders onto the 2 pivots, allowing Barella the space to push up between the lines and remain free to receive the ball on the turn and carry the ball using his incredible dribbling ability, or for Immobile to act as a target man to win aerial duels using his strength and hold up play for the forwards. In open play, Di Lorenzo would often move in alongside Bonucci and Chiellini to form the 3rd centre-back, and Spinazzola would push up high and wide, allowing Insigne to tuck inside and attack the half space. Barella would also push up and attack the half space on the opposite side, while the right winger, usually Chiesa or Berardi, would occupy the wide position, essentially making it a 3-2-4-1 formation. Also, one of the midfielders would drop alongside the defensive line to have more time on the ball, while also allowing Di Lorenzo to push up and attack the right-hand side. Jorginho and the other midfielder will remain in a staggered line, with Jorginho dropping in front of the centre-backs and the other midfielder pushing up between the lines to allow central progression of the ball. This is backed up by one of the frontmen looking to drop into the central position. Drawing an opposition player onto them, he will receive the ball and he will look to play the forwards, making a run in behind. If the opposition defenders do not follow them into midfield, they would receive the ball and turn and carry the ball forwards into the opposition box, or they will take a shot from distance. Having a 3 at the back allows the centre backs like Chiellini to be able to bring the ball forwards to draw out the opposition markers to create space for their teammates, and he will release them. But they will typically look to build up via the flanks, that is to build up down the right, and attack via the left. They will look to create overloads on the flanks, with the fullback and one of the midfielders moving to the right, followed by the forward in the half space coming short to combine with the winger with quick short passes, or by coming short and drawing a defender onto him to release the inside forward or winger making a run in behind. They will also look to isolate the opposite side fullback 1v1 and will use the quality of Spinazzola and Insigne on the left, or either Chiesa or Berardi and Barella on the right to be able to beat their man and to move in on the outside to whip in across or to cut in and shoot. Higher up the pitch, Italy will look to play quick short passes amongst each other to try and force an opening. Insigne would often move out wide, creating space for Spinazzola or Emerson on the underlap. Insigne would also come short to draw out a defender for Immobile to run in behind or for a midfielder to make a run from deep. While on the other side, Barella would move out wide to stretch the defense to allow Chiesa to move in on the inside. And often, Italy would look to hit teams on the transition, using the speed and dribbling of Chiesa, Insigne and Berardi. Insigne would often look to occupy the space vacated by the opposition fullback and will be the outball for counters. So let's look at how Italy managed to concede just 4 goals throughout the entire Euro 2020. Italy are a team that have defended from the front, having a passes per defensive action, or PPDA for short, of 13, making them 8th amongst the teams with the least amount of PPDA in the Euro 2020. If Italy were to lose the ball higher up the pitch, they would look to counter press immediately. Verratti would defend aggressively to try to win the ball back, forcing a turnover in possession, or make a tactical foul to stop the opposition from breaking on the counter. When the opposition build out from the back with a back 4, Immobile will look to press the centre back in possession of the ball, while the wingers would position themselves cutting off the passing lanes to the fullbacks pushing up, while a midfielder will look to step out and press the other centre back if he receives the ball. Sometimes the near side winger will look to press the centre back with his cover shadow blocking the passing lane to the fullback. If the opposition drop their 2 pivots deep in front of the centre backs, Barella and Locatelli or Verratti will look to follow them deep, and the defenders will look to back up the press, moving higher up the pitch. The wingers cutting off the passing lanes to the opposition fullback still leaves the fullback free to receive the ball via chip-through balls from the goalkeeper or defender. If this happens, either the near side midfielder will look to move out wide to press the fullback while Jorginho covers for him, or the Italian fullback on the same side would step out and press the fullback. This leaves the opposition no choice but to go long, where Bonucci and Chiellini are incredible in aerial duels and are able to beat forwards in the air for long balls. Against a back 3, Italy's front 3 would press each of the defenders, and the wingers would position themselves between the outside centre backs and the wing backs. This again left the wing backs easy targets to receive the ball via chip through balls. And if that happens, the ball side and midfielder would step out to press the fullback, or the same side Italian fullback will step out to press the wing back. If the fullback steps out to press the wing back, then the entire defensive line would shift across to cover. In open play, Italy defended with a mid-block, and their defensive formation depended how the opposition looked to progress the ball. If the opposition moved to progress the ball through the central areas of the pitch, then Italy will look to defend in a narrow and compact 4-1-4-1, with Jorginho patrolling the space between the lines to intercept any through ball to the forwards. And if by chance the forward receives the ball, Bonucci and Chiellini will press aggressively to win the ball back. This makes progressing the ball through the midfield very difficult, forcing the opposition to move the ball out wide, where Italy can use the touchline as an extra man to help in pressing the opposition to win the ball back. If the opposition look to move the ball in the wide areas, then Italy will defend in a lopsided 4-4-2, with Insigne and Immobile remaining higher up, while the midfield would move across to create overloads to stifle the opposition from progressing the ball in the wide areas. If the opposition look to switch the ball to the opposite flank, Insigne is ready to step out and press either the centre back or wing back receiving the ball. If the opposition fullback or wing back is the target of the ball, either Spinazzola or Di Lorenzo will remain wide and will be aggressive in stepping out to win the ball back. Mancini's in-game management was proactive rather than reactive, being able to change tactics and personnel in case things weren't working out. In the game against England, Mancini subbed on Berardi for Immobile and deployed Insigne as a false nine. This added an extra dimension for Italy, as it added that interchangeability and interplay, as the forwards can play anywhere across the front three. Insigne, Chiesa and Berardi were able to switch positions and be able to draw defenders out of position with their runs, and to be able to make space for the other forwards to cut in and take a shot or to put in a cross. If the midfielders are unable to progress the ball due to an opposition midfield overload and low block, Insigne can also drop into midfield to create overloads to be able to pick up the ball, and he will look to beat players with his dribbling to pick out a forward making a run in behind or to take a shot from distance. Italy were a cohesive attacking team built on the foundations of Viscidi and Sacchi and their four pillars of attacking football. But it took the tactical brilliance of Roberto Mancini to bring the whole thing together and take it to the next level, to make Italy European giants once again. And with the World Cup looming in Qatar, Mancini has a chance to lay to rest his personal demons as well as the demons of a once great European nation on the world stage. So that is it guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to smash that like button and comment down below what are your thoughts on Mancini's Italy and how do you think they will fare in the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. Comment down below and let me know. Until next time, this is me Hotshot signing out. Peace.